All right. What's up, people in YouTube live land? I'm hoping this is working all right, and I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I was having some trouble with my mic. So if you're in here, looks like there's a few people in the room already. Let me know if you can hear me okay. It's going to take me, just so you know, I've got a bit of a delay on the comments. It's going to take me, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute or so to be able to see what you're saying. But for those of you that are going to be tuning into this later on and aren't live as a video on YouTube, basically what happened is things didn't go according to plan, and I couldn't get the video out today. I was planning on doing another. I've got powder on my nose. Yeah, thanks, Bilo. So I was planning on doing another clear vodka in an attempt to redeem myself after the fishy, nasty mango vodka video that didn't work so well. Didn't work out. Isn't going to happen this week, but I will have it out next week, and that is going to be a mixed berry vodka. That's the plan for that one. So seeing as that didn't work out, I figured, what the hell, instead of rushing out a video for the sake of rushing out a video, why not jump on here and do a live stream, seeing as I was running out of time. So let's just say how's it to a few people. Big Ed's Guns, my man, one of the OG crew. Good to see you here, my friend. Caesar, no, it's not, dude. Jack from Texas, awesome, mate. Some Texas people in the house. That's good to see. All right, so for those of you that are here now, and those of you watching the video later on, just to let you know what's going to go down today, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versions of the Grappa I made a little while ago sitting over here, and I want to taste through those. And the reason being is I have popped the lids and I have smelt them, and I have put one of those little stainless steel straws, I don't have them around here, and dunked that in my mouth, but I haven't given them a proper tasting yet. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's about time to crack into it, because that was a while ago now, and they are starting to color up quite nicely. So I'm pretty keen to get stuck into those. I also have this is the toasted corn that I haven't really tasted either. So I'm going to give that a nudge. And we've got this. This is something special. You guys can blame Roy from Aquavite for that one. And I'm not tasting this because it's fermenting right now. But what I do want is advice from you guys. So we're going to get to that later on as well. And in the midst of it all, we're going to run some Q&A. So if you guys have got questions for me about damn near anything, feel free to feel blah. My father is trying to call me. Sorry, guys. Let me put my my phone on silent. That was not very professional. Boom. All right, silent. Yeah, any questions you have, feel to go nuts in the comments. Ask away. Like I said at the beginning, sorry, team, there is going to be about I'm guessing about a 30-second delay on when you type the comment to when I see it, because I'm on StreamYard, not direct through YouTube. Just makes it easier for me. Look, Dad keeps calling. Where are we? Sorry, guys, I got distracted. Yeah, we got some Australians. Puffs, Tasty Puffs. I have not seen that screen name before, but it cracks me up. So nice to see you here, dude. Sorry, guys, I'm shocking with screen names. I find it really hard to keep up with screen names versus email addresses and Facebook profiles and so on and so forth. Big Ed, yes, my man. That is, we decided over lockdown to get a telescope for the family. And I'll tell you what, guys, that has been the best family purchase we ever made. And the best thing about having a telescope as a family activity is not even having the telescope. It's just the, how do you put it? The awareness of the night sky and the fact that everyone else is into it and you can talk to each other about it. And, you know, you can walk out and catch a single glimpse of something through the clouds and, you know, know what you're looking at. I don't know, it's pretty freaking cool. Yeah. So dude, yeah, we got a 6-inch Dobsonian just to have a play. Anyway, this is a distilling channel, not a not a astrophotography channel or something. Lemmings, yes, Grappa, my man. Hey, why am I not drinking something? Let's get stuck in. I don't know, guys. What do you reckon? I feel like for the Grappa, I should probably just start with the white stuff. What do you reckon, guys? Let me know. Do you sometimes add salt or baking soda to distill the second run to move the boiling point of the water? No, I do not. I don't add anything. Honestly, I'm not. To move the boiling point of the water, I would imagine it would change the boiling point of everything, would it not? I mean, it's just a solution. It's not like you can affect one thing without affecting the other. I'm not sure of the science on that one, mate. I haven't tried it. Yeah, if someone else in the comments knows, let us know. I have not made a grain spirit yet, but found rum to be great. I stepped up to 55-gallon drum fermentation. Nice, Brian. Yeah, man. Bigger ferments are always dope. They make everything easier. They make everything more accessible, more efficient, I guess is the word I'm really looking for here. I am always keen when I can to do a larger ferment rather than a smaller one. Just makes sense. Convert the telescope into a reflux still. Yeah. That's yeah. That could work for sure, man. All right. Yeah. No one's saying anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. The white it is. So I don't know if you guys remember or not, but when I made this, I was a little bit dubious about whether I'd gone slightly too far into the heads, looking for flavor. It was a little bit jaggy. So I'm interested to see if this has, changed over time. And to be honest, I don't know if I've even smelt the white one. I've been playing with the wooded ones. Let's go with a small sample, seeing as I got a bit to get through and it's only 10:30 in the morning. And, I want to be productive for the rest of the day. Glenn, have I tried ultrasonic aging? No, my friend, I have not. But that video came out on YouTube a while ago and kind of took the distilling world by storm. And it is something I want to try for sure. Stillworks says go for white first. Man, is there that much of a delay on this thing? I guess there is. Sorry, guys. Yeah, this has changed heaps. While I'm sniffing on this, Jason, have you read on the HD side about the angel yeast that eliminates, supposedly, the need to boil heat grains to convert starches? Yes, I have heard of it, dude, and there is now a supplier in New Zealand. I don't have the link on me, but we actually have a Chase the Craft code, I guess, like affiliate code for that. That'll give you a 10% discount. Yeah, so the idea is that it's got enzymes in it that are stable and also active at fermentation temperatures rather than mashing temperatures, which essentially means that it will mash and ferment at the same time. So because it's converting, because the enzymes are active at such a low temperature, it is going to be quite, it's going to make the fermentation process a lot longer and slower. But there's a few of the crew in New Zealand I know that are using it and loving it. And I was actually considering using that to make the potato vodka that we talked about in one of the recent videos. So I'm guessing the process would be cut the potatoes up, boil the shit out of the potatoes to sort of loosen them up and just make them more accessible for the enzymes, and then throw some of that stuff in it and just let it have at it, and leave it for as long as it needs to ferment out. Yeah, it sounds like fun, man. I've never used it. I need to give it a go for sure. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, like, who was it? Sorry, the question, the chat's going past too fast for me to, like Jason said, yeah, it's an angel yeast and it is the yellow packet. So, yeah, I'll throw that up at some point in time as a link on Facebook if the New Zealand crew are after a link. Overseas, honestly, I'm not sure where best to get it. I know you can get it off Amazon. Not Amazon, AliExpress. Delay only seems to be a few seconds. Okay, maybe you guys are just slow, and I'm slow as well. All right, anyway. Whoa. We're not keeping up here. Something's going funny. Nah, we're back. This has calmed down a whole lot. So I am happy that I chose to go that far into the heads now, based on the smell. It's got none of the jaggy, prickly nastiness on the nose anymore. For those of you that are just tuning up, this is the white grappa. So nothing else in it, just the straight grappa that we made a little while ago with the grapes from Caliph Winery in Hastings. So thanks a bunch, Caliph, if you end up listening to this. Oh, yeah. That's calmed down so much. It's nowhere near as jaggy and nasty as it was before. Not nasty, fiery, I guess is the word. It still has a little bit of that vapory feel in your mouth, not full-on nail polish remover, but you can kind of feel it evaporating in your mouth as you're drinking it. Lindsay, my man, nice to see you in the comments, mate. But it's not real full-on prickly. Now, the flavor hasn't changed a lot, which is nice. It's still got a lot of those red grape flavors, which surprised me when I made it, I gotta say. Yeah, I'm really, really glad I kept some of this white. For those of you that don't know or don't remember, let's just run through what I've actually got here. So this is just the white stuff with some oak. White stuff, I guess back sweetened or mixed back. Well, not sweetened because it was pretty damn dry, but some of the original wine I kept from the lees that Caliph gave me. I siphoned some of the wine off the top, kept it, distilled the rest of it with the skins and everything else, and then put some of the wine back in there. This has got some oak in it as well. And this is... I didn't label these, and I'm really starting to regret that. I'm going to have to go back and watch the video again. Remember what the hell I put in these. This is French oak. So this is clear spirit with French oak, and the other two are US white oak. So we'll get to tasting the others as we go. I'm thinking we taste the straight American oak next. I think we saved the one with the wine mixed in for last, because that's what I'm really interested in, to be perfectly honest with you. Do I start a dump glass or do I drink it? I guess I drink it, don't I? All right, what's going on in the comments? Sorry to ignore you guys. Try a shot of coffee. Oh, it's grappa in coffee or espresso. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's something that I have been excited to try ever since I started looking into grappa a little bit more when I started making this, Tony. So yeah, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I definitely need to give that a whirl. If anything, actually, I think the red grape grappa might pair with coffee better than white grape. I don't know. Do we have any regular grappa drinkers in the comments? I'd really like to know if there is, because I don't get to talk to people that drink a lot of grappa very often. But yeah. Ever try putting blueberry or raspberry in the mash? They're all in season now in Maine, and would like to try with fresh fruit. Yeah, dude. So the thing with most fruit is that it becomes very, very, very inefficient to make a full wash out of the fruit. You need a buttload of fruit compared to, grain or especially sugar. There's just not as much. What do you call? Oh, I just realized I've missed a super chat from someone. Who was that? MLK682. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't even see it go by. Too much talking. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you enjoyed the channel. Thanks, mate. Yeah, so the efficiency of fruit is just not that much. It doesn't. You need a buttload of fruit, dude. So by all means, if you can pick a buttload of berries, go right ahead. The other thing is that quite often the flavors and fruits are quite subtle. So getting a whole lot of flavor out of fermenting it and distilling it, you can lose quite a lot of flavor. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong. Eau de vie, freaking delicious. I love it. But there's an art to making it correctly. And if you're interested, dude, go back and have a look at the podcasts I've put out. I've put out 2 that you might find interesting. One is with Elias Masterganis. I can't remember how you say his last name properly. Sorry, Elias. But he runs a distillery in America that focuses on sort of Greek style stuff, and he dabbles, well, he doesn't dabble, he kicks ass with fruit quite a bit. He also has his own podcast, so check that out. The second is with Nevin from Croatia. Have I just done you a horrible disservice, Nevin? I'm sorry. Anyway, his thing is fruit washes. Check those out, and he's got a bunch of awesome tips there for you if you want to go down the path of actually mashing and distilling, fruit from start to finish. You can cut the difference and kind of do what I've been doing lately with the mango and now with the berries, which is almost treat it like a gin. So don't ferment it, macerate it in alcohol, and then distill it, see what happens. And obviously the third way is just make the maceration, and you can get some really kick-ass colors, especially from berries with that. So enough said, up to you, my man. But if they're in season and they're wild, hell yes, collect them and use them for something. Put them to use. All right, where are we? I saw someone say, Grappa drinker, Lemmings run. What is up with all the Lemmings names? There's like 3 of them, but it seems kind of random. They watch the channel. There's a Lemming Herder who's got his own channel, Lemmings Run, and there's another Lemmings name. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, all right, dude. So if I say something stupid about Grappa, call me out. Cool? You've got full permission to do so, as is everyone else, all the time. You guys know the drill. If you hear me saying bullshit, call me out on it. You love Grappa in coffee or as an aperitif? Yeah, dude. I'm learning to love Grappa, just sipping it like a whiskey, man. It's delicious. I've only had a few. I've only tried a few, but it's something I need to get more of. I need it. Gary P says fruit needs to be free or it ain't worth the trouble, but infusions are a different story. Yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm getting at, dude. Like if you're buying fruit and you're trying to mash it and ferment it and distill it, you have so much fruit. And that's honestly why I haven't fucked with fruit a lot on the channel, because it just doesn't kind of make sense. Now I'm backed by the Patreons. I have a budget. I can just do stuff for the hell of it. Like I don't need to get a product out of it. So next time fruit season comes around here, I'll be getting something for sure and trying it. And the Grappa was amazing. Like it was so much fun. So I need to work that out as well. Oh, another super chat. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I keep missing them. Thanks for the tip. Sipping on limoncello right now. Dope. Nice work, Sean. Wait, were you the guy that sent me the Facebook message with like 16 bottles of limoncello in your freezer? It wasn't 16. It was about 8. Like I said, I'm really bad at names and profile names and stuff. But if you are, that was a beautiful photo, dude. All right. Where were we? How many times can you run a UJSSM from Grant? I'm assuming you mean how many like generations can you keep doing? You can just keep doing them forever, dude. The thing that's going to run you into problems, well, actually, there's 2 issues that can run you into problems. Number one is that your yeast will mutate. Right? It's going to happen. The amount of that mutation is going to depend on a whole lot of different things. How long it's going to take is going to depend on a whole lot of different things. And whether or not that is a good thing or a bad thing is something only you can tell as the person there with your eyes and taste buds and sense of smell on it. But it will happen. So the first thing that can go wrong is that your yeast can start taking you down a path that you just don't want. Pretty easy to sort that out. You just repitch new yeast, and you can just kill the old yeast off or start a new batch or whatever it would, deal with that the way you want to deal with it. I would be a little bit hesitant about just killing off all the yeast I've seen people do it by pouring basically the hot back set into the UJSSM leftovers and then letting it cool down and then pitching new yeast into it. Just because of autolysis, I might be a little bit wary of doing that with, the full yeast cake. Up to you. But to get around that, just pitch new yeast, basically. The second thing is that you need to watch the acidity. So it is if you keep keeping the same amount of back set and keep putting the same amount of back set into the UJSSM, over time, it is going to get more and more and more acidic. It's just, it's going to happen. So just keep an eye on that. If you have a pH meter, that would be perfect. Yeah. But if you keep those two things in check, you can pretty much keep going indefinitely. I guess the third thing to be wary of is if you start picking up a wild yeast, bacteria, fungal infection that takes you down a path that you really don't want to go down. As long as it's something that's not actually nasty, like if it's just lacto or, if you get Brett in there, then hell yeah, that's awesome. Pedio as well. More often than not, the Saccharomyces has got a much shorter lag phase. So if you can keep it running and keep it, it's almost like a sourdough starter. So if you can keep it fed, and you can keep using it and keep the cycle going, then the Saccharomyces is going to take off first, which is going to produce your alcohol, and then you're going to start souring from the wild stuff and get some cool flavors going on. But it's just something to be aware of, that if you do get something really bad in there, that just be aware of it. I don't think it's almost never going to happen, but something to be aware of. Lemming Run. Thank you, my bro. Oh, yeah, I forget. Man, I'm useless. I haven't done this for so long. I forget I can put the damn things on the screen, can't I? Muppet. No message with that, just a super chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Okay, this looks interesting. I just roasted Icelandic birch at 120, 180, and 220. Just tried it after a week of aging, and it was so interesting, especially the smoked meat taste of the 220. Would like to send you a log. Okay, so here's the thing, dude. Unfortunately, it is really, really hard to get any organic material into New Zealand. If it's a commercial product, so Navy Mark, one of the Patreons, just sent me some, I can't remember the brand, but I think maybe it's Jack Daniel's smoking chips to try out, and also some staves. They're sold as smoked products and they're in a sealed bag, so that's probably going to get in 8 times out of 10. Sending like homemade stuff that's not packaged and branded, you can try, dude, but I would say if you sent 100 packages, maybe 5 of them would get to me. So, and I know it's not cheap to ship things here, so yeah. Flick me a message. Actually, don't flick me a message. For everyone that's listening here, I suck on Facebook. Like, if you want to get in touch with me, please don't please don't message me on Facebook, because I don't really use it. Flick me an email, jesse@chasethecraft.com. We are getting behind on the comments here, and I'm not tasting things. I need to be tasting things. All right, I'm pouring the next one. Well, from the love your channel, learning heaps and inspire my creativity. I just made a jalapeno infused rum, 65%. It's wicked. Nice, man. I love seeing people fuck with things that are different. And obviously, you're not the first person to put chili into something like this. But, dude, I guarantee you it's different than the others out there, because you made it, which is freaking awesome. I love this hobby. So that's cool to hear. That makes me really, really happy to see people messing with stuff like that. That's really cool. All right, I'm going to skip to the front of the queue on the comments, guys. Otherwise, we're going to get sadly out of date here. Your stuck fermentation vid saved my wash issue I had. Oh, awesome, man. There we go. Wait, was that the same person? I didn't do that on purpose. Cool. I'm glad it did, man. I'm glad it did. All right, so sake. I can't give you any advice because I haven't looked into it a whole lot, but something that I have been wanting to do, like as an idea. Wow, that's smelling good. Pretty much like, I don't know, maybe for the last 2 years or something, soon after, not long after Still It started, I had this idea. And it's basically to get a world map, stick it on the wall in the distillery somewhere. And you know how people do put a pin in it when they travel somewhere, or, that sort of thing. Do the same thing, but do colloquial, I guess is the right word, spirits from that area. So if you make something that is local and an indigenous spirit to a certain area, put a pin in the wall and try and work my way around the whole map. I think that would be freaking fun. If for no other reason than it would force me to try a bunch of weird stuff, right? I think it'd be fun. So no, I can't give you any advice on it, but yes, it is something that I'd like to look into. That'd be fun. All right, anyway, let's try this. So this is the white Grappa with US white oak in it. I'm so glad I made this stuff. And I can't believe how much I got out of it, man. There was a lot of booze left in that. Caliph was really, really generous with what he gave me. And to be fair, they were fermenting to like 14% or something stupid. Oh, man. I keep forgetting. I've still got the grape skins sitting out there, the 2 buckets that I didn't open. So I got to check them, but I think they should be fine. I'm pretty sure Caliph whacked some argon in there, and they were, like I said, real high ABV, so they should be okay. I want to try a sugar wash version of this and sort of compare it and see if it's any good. But anyway, let's give this a nudge. You're drinking UJSCM, I'm drinking Grappa, my man. Funnily enough, that actually tastes slightly hotter than the white version. That's really interesting. It is getting a very, very subtle sweetness from the wood right now, and a subtle oakiness. It's definitely not overboard by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be a long aging project, but I have really high hopes for it. If I start to get some of those more long-term wood characteristics in this as well, it's going to be really yum. It's going to be very, very nice. All right. Where are we? Tell Jason, yes, I make whiskey out of rice wine, somewhat thin, but aged in bourbon barrels, and it rounds out. Huh, there you go. Interesting. What's Big Ed got to say? Anyone in the US go to a Chinese food store, ask for fermented rice balls. Huh. It's an all-in-one koji. All right, dude. So you're saying you're using that as a like as an inoculation for a wash, I'm assuming. That's interesting. Okay, my dad keeps calling me, and I'm worried that like someone's died or something. So let me just message him. All right. So I'm hoping that he's just really persistently wanting to know how to fix his computer or something. But if I suddenly disappear, that's because Dad's got bad news for me. Anyway, where were we, guys? Yeah, okay. So you're using it as inoculation. That's cool. All right. Yeah. What the? I tell him I'm live streaming. I ask him if he's okay, and he says, "Yes, I'm okay. I'm trying to ring you," and he calls me again. Yes, I agree, my bro, and that's why I'm not just completely ignoring him. But it'll be a question about what to do with his computer or what phone to buy or something like that. I'm guessing. I love my dad, awesome guy, but I'm guessing that's what's happening right now. All right, where are we at? Yeah, I don't think it's bad news, guys. I think, yeah, he's just being dead. I'll call him as soon as I get off here, and I will be slightly tipsy, and it will be fun to talk to him. You know, the funny thing, my man, is that I'm now old. I'm now an old guy. And because I am slack and I don't keep up with the rest of the world, I'm going to be that awkward old man that doesn't know what's going on. All right, guys, it's official. The live stream started. Randall's here. Good to see you, my bro. Yeah, this one was last notice, so yeah, I'm really glad you could make it, my friend. For those of you that don't know, Randall's the one that supports and keeps the thin layer, the thin veneer of civility on our Facebook group. And to be fair, you're doing a damn good job, my friend. The fact that the comment section on YouTube and the Facebook group, the fact that they have not descended into chaos, especially with a topic like this, is pretty freaking awesome. So thank you guys for making the community awesome. All right. What do you reckon, guys? I think. Excuse me. All right, let's try the French oak version. Actually, let's do it side by side because I've got two glasses, and we can see if it's different from the US white oak version. Now, something I need to point out straight away is that is a rather large. It's kind of hard for you to see, but a rather large piece of oak in a much smaller bottle. And I did that because I wanted something to age quicker and, you know, so I can start drinking something earlier, basically. But I'm interested to see if the French oak has a different impact. Okay, that's starting to get fun. That's almost got almost like a chocolate with a touch of cherry sort of thing going on, which is weird as hell because I would normally say that that's like US oak territory. Oh yeah. Okay, that's starting to get a little bit of wood tannin in it, and that works really, really well with this. So yeah, by no means is that overdone yet. That's still got a long way to go to age out to where I would like it to be. I would say at least 2 or 3 times as long as it's been in there now. And then even then I could probably, you know, whack that piece of wood in half and let it keep going. But I like where it's going with the wood. That's for sure. I'm glad I put a majority of it on wood. Randall, my man, thank you, dude. And we love you. Thanks for doing what you do, my friend. Sucks that everything's locked down in America. There was a small chance that we were going to be able to tee up again with each other for the Bastards Ball. I was probably going to miss this one anyway, to be honest. It's going to be a bit tricky for me to get there, but it's not going to happen now. So next year, my friend, next year. All right, what do we got? We got a question here, but look at it from William. Can you distill a ferment that has gone sour? Do those acids from the bacteria make it through the still? I listened to one of your podcasts today, and I thought you mentioned it. Can you explain it? Oh, okay, dude. So the most popular way it's going to go, you know, acidic through through fermentation is probably lactobacillus. And chances are the lacto that you get, if you're doing an all grain and you didn't boil, the lacto is coming from the grains itself. So the grains are an absolute hotbed for all sorts of crazy bacteria, yeast, fungi, all sorts of things that are in there. And if you don't boil it, even though you do get it kind of up to almost pasteurization temperatures for the mash, some of it's going to survive. Then you go along and pitch a big ass colony of yeast in there, and the yeast is going to take off and chew through everything that your yeast can eat to a point where you get to a final gravity. So your fermentation is essentially stopped. The Saccharomyces that you pitched in there, the yeast that you pitched, eats everything it can eat, and then it finishes. Those couple of cells, even if there's just a few cells left over of lactobacillus from the grain, they have the ability to eat things that Saccharomyces can't. So things that are unfermentable for Saccharomyces can be, not everything, but can be fermentable for lactobacillus. So then the lactobacillus colony starts to grow, and they take off and chew through the other stuff. And they create lactic acid. So that's one way that a ferment can sour. So where was I going with that? Do those acids from the bacteria going through the still? Okay, so no, they're not going to come through as an acid, but that acid can be turned into other things that are actually quite delicious in the distillation process, especially. So when you have heats, copper, alcohol, and an acid, you can get esterification in the still, and I cannot remember the name of the ester that is formed from lactic acid, but essentially every different, well, not every different, but the different acids have different esters that they turn into, right? And those esters can add another layer to your products that you're making. So the people that really turned me onto this and really got me excited about this were the guys at Iron Root. So if you go back and listen to the very first podcast I did with them, they talk about it. And that's what really got me pumped up about it. I'd heard about it before, I'd looked into it before, but talking with those guys really got me excited because I know they do their research and I know that they don't take anything at face value. They kick ass. And if they're saying something works, I don't believe anyone outright until I can kind of look into it myself, but they're right at the top of the list of people that I just believe without question. Simply because they've got a very similar ethos to me in the way that they go about things. But so no, it's not going to come through. It's not going to ruin it. In fact, it can make it better. And I'm not saying you should go out there and lacto everything, but in certain situations, it's definitely a good thing. I hope that answers your question, my man. Whoa, I was going to click on this. Later, Lindsay. Good to see you, my man. And we'll catch you next time, my bro. Can you explain the pros and cons of direct steam injection compared to an electric element or direct fire? Looking to get the most flavor from my all grain mash. All right, dude. You've put me on the spot here, and I don't know a whole lot about direct steam injection and how that is different to other things. I'm guessing direct steam injection is when you're actually pumping steam, where the steam actually comes in contact with the grain. Can someone verify if I'm right or not right on that? Let's see where the comments take this, and we'll come back to it, my man. Because if I'm talking about the wrong thing from the get-go, then I'm not going to help you. Those are fighting words, Randall. Those are fighting words. So, I mean, we need to start peer pressuring some of these Texas people to get some Texas whiskey imported into New Zealand. And I know they've got laws that are making it difficult to do so I can't really hold it against them. But yeah, it would be, that'd be great to get it down here. Oh, my man, Adam. Where are we? There we go. Thanks, dude. So it's basically like a slightly earthy, fruity, sweet, almost like, how would I describe it? When I say fruity, almost like orchard fruity, I guess I would say. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. A lot of the Irish whiskies that are, how do I put it? Irish whiskies that are not all about being triple distilled and super smooth, like Irish whiskies that are double pot stilled and delicious, actively promote lactic acid because it's a large part of the flavor that they're going after, for example. And people like Iron Root are using it as, so there we go. Cheers from Ontario, Canada. Love your vids. Keep up the great info. Oh, thanks, man. I thought there was a question at the end of that, but I appreciate it, dude. Cheers. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw that into one glass, mix the two, so we can get onto the stuff that's had the wine put back into it. Let's have a nudge with that, eh? Oh, we got another super chat. Don Rayburn. Rayburn? Is that how you say your name? I think it's how you say your name. Cheers from Calgary. Flames and stars tonight. Go Flames. All right, for those of you that don't know, I am a LA Kings fan. I think that ice hockey is the single greatest game on the face of the planet. I am scared to say that because in New Zealand, if you don't love rugby and you actively speak out against rugby, there is a very good chance that the New Zealand Secret Service that don't exist are going to break in through this windows and they're gonna deport me for saying that. But I believe it. I love ice hockey. I think it's the best game on the face of the planet. Unfortunately, with Twins, I kind of ran out of time. And when honestly, guys, I was working sometimes like 50 hours a week at Bio5, the previous job that I got let go from because of COVID. And then coming home, looking after Twins, trying to take some pressure off the wife and, putting 35 plus hours a week into still it as well. I don't have time for hockey anymore. So I've fallen off the wagon there, mate. But now that I don't have that second job, now that this is my full-time job, which is freaking awesome, I could probably get back into it. So it's exciting to see that that hockey's back on the menu, man. No. Oh, no. I thought, where are we? Where did that go? I thought you people were cool, man. I thought you people were cool. Oh. Wait, what? What? You can get Balcones in Australia? Dude, that's awesome. That is freaking awesome. How did you hear about them? How did you find out about them? Yeah, I love Balcones, man. It is definitely, most of the Texas whiskeys are definitely not for people that are into smooth whiskey. That's not kind of what Texas is about. It's very much New World craft whiskey, most of it. Obviously, some of their expressions go down that road. But yeah, I love this stuff, man. Unfortunately, Jared sent me a bottle of the Trail Blend, the one that I was part of, and I think because of COVID, it never got here. It's never turned up, which is really sad. Yeah. Yeah, man. Dude, I feel you. So first of all, congratulations. Nice to know that you have. It's always exciting for another kid to be part of the family. But I hear you, man. That was a tough time for us, and honestly, we went. How do I put it? We went through the experience with our first child, and then my wife Erin wanted another kid, and I didn't want another kid. So we compromised and we had twins. So when I found out that it was twins, it was the first day of a new job. I just started work at Bio5, and it was my birthday. So I was in a weird place already, just mentally. And then it was my first day on this job, and my wife kept calling me all day. She kept ringing me. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I am trying to make a good impression at a new job. And I finally finished work, drove to the service station to get gas because I needed gas. And I called her and I was like, why do you keep calling me? And then she told me we're having twins. And I had to go to a friend's house to wait for her to come there so the friends could look after our eldest daughter so we could go out for my birthday. And then I had to I turned up at our friend's house and didn't want to tell them what was going on because I didn't know if anyone knew. And they were just like, why are you being a dick? Why aren't you talking to anyone? Because I was straight up in shock, man. I was like, okay, now we're having twins. That's a long way of saying that when I found that out, I basically said to my wife, I'm going to have to quit the channel. Like, I'm just going to have to shut still it down. It sucks, but we're going to have to do it because I can't. And she was the one. She has been so freaking supportive of this whole thing. She basically said, screw that, we'll get through it. Like, it'll be hard, but it won't be the end of the world. all of that talking to say, I feel you, man. It's tricky. It's real tricky. And I know it's real hard to have time for hobbies when your kids are that young, especially when they're that young. If you're working and stuff. Yeah, dude, I feel your pain. It's not forever. And they grow up fast, and enjoy them while you can, because I'm learning real quick that they grow up real quick and things change real quick. And you can never go back. So if it means that you have to take a break from distilling for a little while, so be it. You can stay part of the community, stay, talking to people when you can, so you don't just completely lose that passion, and find a way to have some time, even if it's just 15-20 minutes at night, to be able to, jump on a forum and talk. Find some time for you. Make sure your wife's got time for her, and pick the hobby up when you can again, mate. Good luck to you. What's the difference between a bra and the Calgary Flames? Bra has 2 cups. And that's thank you for the thanks for the super chat, man. And I can see it's in Canadian dollars, so shots fired. All right, where are we? I know how you feel. The baby is 6 months old. Found out last week. We have another one on the way. Congratulations, dude. Cheers, man. And I'm sorry also. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take it back for anything now. It is literally the most fulfilling thing in my life now is my kids. And to be honest, it took me a while to get to that point. And it's hard for me to say that because I feel like an absolute asshole for it, but it's true, man. It took me a long time to adjust to it, and it took me a long time to it's hard when they're young, man, especially when they're like 2 little twins and they're young and they're just taking up all the time and they're shitting everywhere and they're crying all night, and they're little worms and they don't really interact with you or do anything. Yeah, it took me a while, but yeah, it is. There we go. They're worth it though. 100%, man. Best thing you could do in life. Now that I'm on the other side of it. Anyway, enough of the kids. So this is the white grappa mixed with some of the wine that I reserved from Caliph. Now that wine, remember, that wine was not aged. It was not on oak. It was literally the stuff that was chilling with the lees. We let the lees sit for a while, and I siphoned it off the top as it settled itself out. And Caliph was quite generous and gave me stuff that had a whole lot of good wine in it. But like I say, it's not aged wine. It is wine that is destined to end up in, like $100 bottles of wine, though. So it's damn good stuff. Anyway, let's give it a nudge. Yeah, it's definitely more berry-ish and wine-like, funnily enough. Oh yeah. Okay. This is going to be good. It is really dry. Tannic. So I might end up cutting it back with something else, but that is going to be fun. Does anyone out there, my man that was into grappa, is there a name for this? Like, is this a thing? Keeping some of the fruit wine and mixing it back? Or is that just, am I being a crazy person doing that? Stefan, thanks a bunch, man. I appreciate it. If I can inspire people to try some new stuff or stay in the hobby, through some weird times, then 1 or 2 people a year, I'm happy to do it, man, because it's a freaking cool hobby. And I know what it's like, man, especially when things go up shit creek like they are at the moment. The world's been turned on its head, and sometimes you just lose a hobby. You fall out of it. You don't keep doing it for whatever reason, and then you look back 10 years later and kind of lament the fact that you gave up on it. So if I can keep you fired up, man, I feel like I'm doing my job. I appreciate it, my man. Ecuador, I haven't read the rest of the question, but I got to click that. Distilled your first whiskey and did the nuclear aging. Oh, cool, man. So I feel like that video that I did on the nuclear aging got taken the wrong way. Sometimes I don't advocate for fast aging to make something yum. at all. I don't see a huge advantage in it. What I do advocate it for is if you want to test something. So let's say you just made a whatever, a something, and you don't know whether to age it on white oak. You don't know, or white oak versus French oak. You're not sure whether to do a heavy char or just a toast, for example. I think it's perfect for that, right? So you can make, like, let's say you make 3 liters of spirit that you're going to age. You can break it down and take 3 small samples out of that, and then nuclear age one with, or let's say you do 4. So you take 4 samples and you do 1 with US oak toasted, 1 with US oak charred, 1 with French oak toasted, 1 with French oak charred. You force age it, you let it chill for a week and a half. You taste them all, and you get a really good analog of what that product might turn into if you had a year to age it, for example. So then you can say, hey, you know what? I'm really enjoying the French oak. I'll forget about the US oak, and maybe I'll do 70% of it toasted and 30% of it charred, and then I can blend it later on. That's where I think the nuclear aging really has a leg up for us as home distillers. And also just if you if you want to drink something now, you don't have anything in the pipeline to be drinking. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't find anything either when I looked into it, man. But the funny thing is, as soon as I mentioned I was going to be doing Grappa, I had a bunch of people getting in touch with me and saying, to do this. And it was the first thing that kind of came to my mind as well. So I find it hard to believe that we made something up that hasn't been done before. Yeah. Exactly this. So I call it the pipeline, man. If you keep making stuff that isn't going to be drinkable for a year, then in a year's time, you've got lots of stuff in the pipeline, so you can, I'm a serial maker, like, and a habitual maker and not much of a drinker, to be perfectly honest with you. But I guess I can't really show you, but yeah. So I end up with a whole lot of jars sitting around with a lot of stuff in it, and I don't end up drinking a lot. And honestly, the reason is, guys, is that the stuff that's sitting here, like, I've still got some of the bastard whiskey sitting over there on wood, and it's still getting better. Like, so I could drink it, but I could sit and not drink it and be patient, and it might be better later on. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so I find it hard to drink all the way through something for sure. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I have. Where is it? There, it's come up now. Roy. Yes, I have. I've tried that a few times, actually. I'm trying to, essentially, it was another thing that I tried and experimented with to try and force complexity into a spirit more. I'm assuming what you're saying is, put multiple different types of wood into a spirit. And let's face it, that's something that they do on a commercial level too, right? It's just that they put it into one barrel for X amount of however long, months or years, and then they take it out of that barrel and put it in a different barrel. It's just, as home distillers, we can do it at the same time. So yeah, I have played with it. And for those of you that didn't listen to the podcast, the second podcast with Iron Root, we talked about élevage, and the idea is that they explained it as, Jonathan explained it as, Robert explained it as the art of raising spirit. So it's not you put it into a barrel and then forget about it. You raise it like a child. You nurture it. You see where it's headed, where it's going, and you help it develop into its best potential. So the idea is you're constantly tasting things and seeing where they're going, and you can do a whole lot of different things to push them in one direction or another. As home distillers, we've got it easy, man. Like, you just whip a piece of oak out and put a different piece of oak in. You don't have to, you don't have to drain the barrel and fill another barrel and all that sort of crazy stuff. So it's, it's pretty cool. Yeah, this is something that I've thought about a lot, dude. I think it definitely falls off after a while. But at the same time, I think, I haven't had enough experience with this over a long enough time to see where this goes. The impacts that the wood has on the spirit slows down considerably, after with something, say that a stave that size and whiskey this size, it's going to color it up really quickly. Like in a week, the color's going to be almost as much as this. In about 2 months, it's going to be a whole lot of flavor, and then it's sort of going to slow down after that. But in saying that, dude, like the amount of wood that's in there compared to the amount of spirit that's in there is more than a barrel, right? So that's something to think about. It's definitely something that I'm tracking with my spirits and trying to get a better hold of as I do it over longer periods of time. Yeah, exactly, Wade. It's freaking hilarious, right? You're a good mate. We've mostly just been talking shit and drinking. You can always go back and watch the rest as a video later on if you want. I'll leave it up for you or for everyone. Steve is currently in West Africa, and I'm wondering what kind of hardwood could possibly work, because I can't get my hand on oak, but I have some access to really some exotic wood like ebony and rosewood. Huge possibility to try different things there, dude. Who knows, man? Who knows? I would say, obviously, the number one thing is to make sure the stuff isn't poisonous, that there's nothing poisonous about just check everything, man. Cover your bases. Make sure there's no... Honestly, even if the berries are poisonous, I'd probably just say pass and move on to the next one. If the sap's poisonous, obviously don't use it. If there's something with the wood that's poisonous, don't use it. If people say, don't burn this wood inside because the vapors are like whatever, just, be safe. And then if you're safe, you're just going to have to start experimenting, man. And like I said, so this is another awesome opportunity to do the nuclear aging. Even just get some, do a tomato paste wash. Get yourself 20 different jars at... honestly, if I'm trying to take ABV out of the picture in terms of it being a variable and I want to test the wood more than anything else, do it at 55%, maybe 53%, something like that. Get 20 different jars, whack them in there, and try a bunch of different variations of different woods and different chars and toasts and all that sort of stuff. And then keep in mind that if you're doing it with neutral, it's not going to taste amazing as is. It'll taste really good, but it won't taste like whiskey. And then use that as a data point to, choose some wood and throw it into some whiskey. So you're not wasting, you're testing with the cheaper, easier sugar wash, and then putting it into practice with the whiskey. Surrounded by oak, and I buy the toasted chips. Lasts forever and it works so well. Yeah, dude. So chips are something that I have never tried, simply because they kind of on the research that I did, it sort of went against. Like I said, I'm not worried about having lots to drink right now. I don't drink that much. I'm going to drink more today on the stream than I have at any one single time slot for quite some time. Oh no, yeah, we actually drank a bit while we were away for my wife's birthday. Forgot about that. You get the point. So I would rather play the long game and try and get a better result than the short game. And it seems to me like the general consensus is that's where it lies. If you want to get a spirit made quickly and aged quickly, and what I mean by that is oaked, like oak tea bagged quickly, then go with chips. But I need to try it. I'm getting to the point now where I'm realizing, dude, I'm on YouTube, I'm talking about this shit, and I'm if I'm putting ideas out there that are just my personal feelings on stuff, that's silly. I need to test it, side by side it, and then see if there's really a basis to what I'm saying. So Navy Mark just sent me some chips, and I need to get onto that. I need to give them a try. So yeah. Yep. Agreed. Exactly agreed, Big Ed. All right. We did taste this. I want to go back to it again though, because this is fun, because it gives me the wine experience. It gives me that almost mouth puckering, dry, tannic wine experience. It gives me the whiskey experience with the high ABV and starting to get a little hint of the barrel candy, just a little bit. Barrel tannin, and then the crazy grappa flavors. So I think this is my favorite out of all of them so far. I do wonder if I would blend it back with either the white, maybe the French oak, actually. The French oak, because it's got a little bit more of the barrel tannin right now. I'm glad I did different things and I can blend the stuff later on, because I've got a fair bit of it, man. There's I've got 3 this size, and which are, 4 liters, 3.5 liters, and 1 this size and 1 half the size as well, which is just the wine and the white without any oak in it. But yeah, I'm really, really glad I did that. If you guys are out there and you're on the fence about whether or not to put the effort into making grappa, do it. It's so much fun. Yeah, dude. It wasn't happening today, and I got held up on the video that I was supposed to put out today, which was a berry vodka video, trying to make up for my fishy bad results with the mango and do the same thing but with berries. I couldn't get it out today, and I was going to just rush out a something video as a placeholder, and I figured, what the hell, I'll do a live stream instead. I haven't done one in a while. And I had all this stuff to taste and get through as well. So yeah, you didn't miss anything. It was just bad luck, bad timing on my part, basically. Here we go. A fortified Italian wine with brandy is generally referred to as a marsala. A garsala. Oh, dude! I thought you'd found. what grappa plus wine was. Yeah, interesting. I really find it hard to believe that it doesn't exist. Now, something that Nevin told me does kind of strike a chord here. Basically, it seems like grappa was very much a spirit of the people, right? It's not. It was something that was made to make things go as far as they can. It was something to be used where, basically, in the days and the times where you've got a buttload of plenty right now because you've just harvested and you've made your wine and all that sort of stuff. But how do you preserve this shit, right? So making grappa was just another way that you could make what you had into something more and make it last longer. And because of that, it was very much a spirit of the people. People were making it for themselves. And he was saying the tradition of drinking grappa white, in his opinion, or any sort of eau de vie white, was simply because you make it and then you end up drinking it. Like, who's got time to age it for a year or two? It's not a product that you're making to add value to further down the track and sell like a whiskey. It was something to be enjoyed and shared, and something to be enjoyed through the time when you didn't have a whole lot of fresh fruit, or a guest comes over and you share it, you bring it out, and the more you like them, the better the bottle that comes out. So he was basically saying that's his thought on why it doesn't get aged a whole lot. And maybe it's similar to that for the mixing wine into it. I don't know. Mr. C, thanks, man. No comment. Just a super chat. I appreciate it, dude. You're another one of the OGs, actually. There's a few of the OGs around today. There's a comment here. Maybe that was supposed to go with it, but didn't work. I put oak cubes in my wine ferment, then dry them and use them to flavor wine. Flavor white. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yep. I was lucky enough to be given some sherry soaked wood way back in the day. I've done the same thing with some wine as well, and I 100% I agree. It's an awesome way to go about it. Wait, is that a reference to what I think it's a reference to? I have questions. If so, that is extreme OG. Yeah. All right. So what I also want to do, guys, is what the hell? Let's mix all that together, because that's all grappa. And This is the toasted corn that we did a little while ago. So this is the stuff that I whacked in the oven. Made specialty corn out of, and I got to tell you guys, the that toasted roasted corn flavor and all the chocolate and everything, it ain't going away. It's getting stronger. So I'm really looking forward to trying this. I haven't tasted this. I've just smelt it. Oh, wait. Let's rinse this glass out. I don't think we really want to be mixing grappa with that, right? Oh, as reference to a song. So the funny thing is, if you're the person I think you are, that reference is from, you would fuck with me. But if you're not the person that... All right. If you are the person that I'm talking about, you don't want anyone to know who you are anyway. So, unusual tastes are great, but I do like vodka and Stalinkinia. I don't know what that is, dude. Used to taste amazing. Now it's rubbish. Past 5 years. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I apologize. Yeah, if you don't know what this is, guys, check the video. Something slightly clickbaity YouTube title, specialty corn. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Why are you still here? Don't you know that you're supposed to get out when the fire alarms go off? Yeah, so something. Someone can look it up and whack it in the comments if you want. But we used Gladfield's malted corn, whacked it in the oven, and toasted it to different sort of doneness levels to create what I'm affectionately calling specialty corn. And then I ended up making a mash with it and basically seeing what happened. And I wanted to see if the flavors that created, that you could taste in the corn and in the wash, carried over into the distilled alcohol, and hell yes, they did. Yeah, heaps. It's pretty good. I gotta say, it's not bad like this, but in some ways it's almost too much. I need to blend it with something else corn-based. Oh, wait, is this it? Should be able to tell if I smell it. No, that's the same stuff. This one. Yes. Yep. All right, so this, guys, is the just straight malted Gladfield whiskey. So it is the exact same corn that specialty malt, that the specialty corn stuff was made from before it was toasted. And this is significantly older, so it's got some more age on it. And I'm thinking that I probably want twice as much of this to that. So to turn it more into a corn-forward whiskey with some of that roasty toastiness as a backbone, I think would make a whiskey that's the roasty toastiness is too far out there, I think, with what I put it in. Sorry, with the amount I put in to the stuff that I made to really make it taste anything like a bourbon. It's just too much. It's not bad, but I think it's just a little bit heavy-handed. Yeah. That might have gone a little too far. I think it could use a little bit more of the roasty toastiness. But yeah, I think there is a potential with that stuff, definitely. All right, where are we? Sorry, I've been ignoring the chat for a little bit. Where are we? Jim. Haven't put a comment up from you yet. So here we go. I make a spiced rum all the time. I use carob pods with it, and it gives an awesome chocolate flavor. That's interesting, dude. I could see how that could work. rum is something I need to get back to. I made the Buccaneer Bob's rum ages ago. I haven't done anything else with rum. I need to do it again because I quite like rum. It's really good stuff. Uh-oh. We've got dad vibes. Dad vibes. Dad jokes sneaking into the comment section. Are you a magnificent bastard by any chance? Yes, that's what? Where did they go? This. I was wondering that too. Yeah, do you put it into the ferment? Do you do it almost like a gin? Like you put it in the vapor path? Do you? Yeah, how do you do? How do you do, Jimmy? Tell us. Yeah. It's actually not, dude. I've got some right here. I mean, I know you're making reference to a certain pirate, but yeah, I've still got some of it here. This is aging up really nicely too. This is something that I want to keep on oak because the longer it sits there, the better it gets. It's yeah, it's nice. It's definitely not a sweet, approachable. Like it's nothing like Bacardi, that's for sure. But it's for me, it's delicious. All right, guys. So I need to ask your advice on something. this here. All right. So shout out to Roy from Aquavite. If you don't know who he is and you're into whiskey, you need to go check him out now. He's on YouTube. He mostly does live streams. He's got a small audience, but do not let that, relatively small audience in terms of subscribers compared to the interaction he has. His live streams are epic. The guy is amazing. He's legitimately one of those people that is just, he's too nice. He's too nice. He's too awesome. Yeah, very well respected in the whiskey tube community because he's an awesome guy and he knows his shit when it comes to scotch. Anyway, this is all his fault. They got to shit talking on one of his streams, and I don't know exactly how it came up, but someone said that someone needs to distill Iron Brew, which is a soda from Scotland. It's like Scotland's other national drink. So here we go. I figured, seeing as it's legal for me to do it, why not? And I managed to get hold of some Iron Brew. Yeah. There we go, dude. These guys know what's up. So here's the thing, guys. There's no specific outcome I want from this, but I want to be able to make something. I want to be able to distill something from Iron Brew. Like I said, it's a soda, and I did a little test to see if the stuff would even ferment, and the answer is yes, it will ferment. I don't know how low it's going to ferment down, and the thing is that it had a starting gravity of only 1030 to start with. So I've got to make something that I can distill out of this. I want to throw it out here to get a few ideas from you guys, and then I think what I'm going to do is get a couple of ideas from here, and then put up a vote on the Patreon page for the people that have recipe voting privileges. Basically, I think that's the way we're going to end up deciding. But a few things that I've thought of. If I can get this to ferment down to 0, which I don't think is going to happen, that's going to give me like 4%, something like that. So I could just roll with that, and I can try and double distill it. I think I've almost got enough to make that happen. Option 2, I could fortify it with sugar. So I could put sugar into it, get it up to like where it's about an 8% after fermentation, and then distill it that way. I could distill this, get it down, like get some alcohol in it, ferment it just sort of for the hell of it, distill it, and then whack that into a sugar wash. I could distill the Iron Brew without any alcohol, like we did on the Modern Rogue with the Dr. Pepper, to kind of get like a Iron Brew essence, and then whack that into something. We could add neutral directly into the Iron Brew and then distill it like almost like Odin's Easy Gin sort of style. I don't know. I'm just throwing some random things out there. Have a little pontificate over it, about it. Have a think about it. Throw some ideas out in the comments, and we'll see what we can get. But it should be fun to do something a little bit different. Anyway, let's see what's happening in the comments. Hey, Spike, how's it going? Good to see you. Rocking a T500, but I've replaced the saddles with copper mesh. Cool. Yeah. I mean, those things get a lot of hate. I think they're pretty capable little system, really. You can make a couple of little modifications to them, and they're pretty cool. I have been thinking a lot lately that I should probably start trying to get hold of some of these things, because like I see myself kind of doing two things in the community, right? Like the longer I do this, and the way I see people interacting with it, with what I create and the channel and all that sort of stuff, I see two things. One is to give people, mostly like yourselves, that have been doing it for a while, and let's face it, there's not like a whole lot that you're actually learning off me. It's just kind of like a nucleation site to throw an idea out there and then let other people jump in on it. Like one of the crew was saying earlier on, it's sort of like it's a way to get people pumped up to try something new, to throw an idea out there that maybe you've been thinking about but you haven't got around to doing, and bounce ideas between people. Like I'm not a master distiller, right? Like I can't, most of you guys, I'm not teaching you anything new. We're just sort of going through it together. That's half of it, maybe, roughly about half of it. The other half is getting the people that are, hey, I'd like to get into distilling and I don't know where to start, helping them get past that initial learning curve and get to the point where they're sort of self-sufficient in distilling. Yeah, self-sufficient in distilling, to the point where they can say, screw it, I want to try something. I'm going to go out there and just give it a go. I'm going to work through it myself without having to I need a recipe, sort of get past that point. Anyway, my point being, that was a long ass ramble. My point being is I kind of feel like something I could really do to help those newbies out would be to go and buy a T500 and run through it, do a review on a couple of different stills like that. And yeah, I don't know. Feel free to throw ideas around on that as well. But yeah, I think the T500 is cool, man. I think it's a great way to start if you don't want to build your own still and you don't have a whole lot of money and you don't know if it's something you're going to be doing in 5 years' time. Why would you go out and spend $3,000 on a crazy ass flute setup or whatever? Anyway, where are we? Why won't you scroll? Yeah, man. Like, if you have the skills or the fortitude to say screw it and just learn the skills you need to build a still as you're doing it, which can be pretty intimidating, to be fair, and you've got access to materials and a shed to do it in and all that sort of stuff, yeah, dude, like making your own, you can get something so much better. And the other thing I almost think is more important is if you go through the steps of building your own still, and you even go halfway into understanding what you need to build and why you need to build it, you're going to come out of that process before you even put anything into that still for the first time. You've learned so much about the hobby that is just invaluable information compared to, I want to start distilling, buy, here's my credit card details, and then a week later the thing turns up in the mail. Do you know what I mean? You haven't immersed yourself in the hobby until you start actually making stuff. So yeah, building a still if you can is a really good option to go. Wait, Terry Dolan's here? Oh, my man's here. Yeah, here you go, bro. It's working, it's fermenting. We're just trying to decide how to go about it. I see people throwing some ideas out and I went on a rant, so I wasn't really I wasn't watching the comments. I was scrolling back to see I'll throw a few random things up. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I mean that's what I'd love to do, JD, but it's how do I get there, man? So do I fortify it with sugar? Do I just throw some neutral into it? Yeah, those are the kind of things that I'm yeah, so this is why I'm thinking of things like this, right? Like if it's a 4% wash and I distill it twice, I mean, in saying that, if I could double distill it, like if I could run it through maybe the claw hammer still and then do the second distill in the Chinese pot still, I've probably got enough volume to double distill it. And yeah, it's not like it's going to get to a crazy high ABV, but if there's 4% in the wash, then it's something, right? That 4%, remember, guys, is reliant on this fermenting out totally dry. I don't see that happening. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, Terry was the one that told me and didn't remind me, taught me that Iron Brew. How did it go, Terry? Give us a rundown. Basically, they brought in like an evil tax on sugar in Scotland, so they made a new version that had fake sugar instead of real sugar, and then no one bought it. So they ended up saying screw it and taking the hit on tax and making the old stuff again. I think that's how it went. Someone tell me if I'm right or wrong. And I bought this like on a bargain thing in New Zealand, like off Grab One. So I may have got I've still yet to figure out like actually how much sugar is in this because I've been slack. So there may not actually be much fermentable in there. There's something fermentable in there because it is fermenting. Anyway. What? What are we talking about? Terry shows up and everything turns to shit. I could for sure. I mean, I can do whatever the hell I want. It's not like I'm not doing this for anyone else. It's not like it's some crazy sponsorship or anything. It's just that I kind of feel like the fun of it is to make something that is Iron Brew. So I don't want to like turn it into Iron Brew Plus. So that yeah. So I could add to it, but I want to keep it as Iron Brewy as possible, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I see help at the beginning of a comment. Let's have a look. Help! Recently, I had my first and only catastrophic failure with rum. Uh-oh. On the first run, I bought a jar to my face and my eyes stung. Then I had a taste in my throat, burnt more than normal too. Yeah, sounds like heads, man. I don't think it's a catastrophic failure. I think you're just experiencing what distilling is. It could be like if you got a whole lot of it, it might be that you ruined some good heads by not making the cut at the right point. It can be really tricky to find that point as a new distiller for sure. And that's why more often than not, I still cut into multiple jars so I can make that decision later on. At any point in time where I know that I'm close to the point that I'm going to cut, I use 500 ml jars. I don't actually have one on hands, but the oh yeah, I do these ones. I might literally just take that much in a jar and then switch it out to another jar if I know that I'm right at the point where I'm going to cut. And then that way, if I decide that I'm going to cut a little earlier, a little later on a certain thing, I don't end up wasting product that I would have saved because it's now mixed in with products that I would have thrown out, if that makes sense. But yeah, dude, no, I don't think you're doing anything specifically wrong. That just seems like hearts to like heads to me. Yeah, so this is someone. Oh man, I've forgotten who it was. I apologize. Someone I think sent me an email or a message saying that their guess was that the certain, maybe it was you actually, Robert. But was it you? I don't know. The preservative that they suspected that was being used in the soda was very much pH dependent, and that I could get around that by changing the pH. That's another interesting thing. I love this channel. Very interesting stuff. When I'm distilling, Oh, you're distilling something else. Yeah, that's funny, man. That's totally illegal for me down here. Although there is a referendum going on in the next election in New Zealand, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I don't have. I bought a 24 pack, and I opened one to see what it tasted like, and then I thought this is actually really good, and then I drank a couple more. So, so I think I've got about how much have I got? Maybe 5-6 liters left or something at the moment now. Yeah, so I don't have that much. I could probably try and look at see if I can buy more, but I don't know if they had any more. Cheers, JD. Appreciate it, my man. Yeah. Okay, so people are talking about this now. Yeah, I've seen some people try it. Everyone that I've seen try it so far says that it wasn't really worth it. But yeah, I mean, why not? Welding on stainless. I am by no means a welder, so I can't tell you much about that. Brazing was my choice because it, was a little more rigid and solid than soldering, and it was easier for me to get the soldering. It was easier for me to get the. It was the flux that I found it like good flux. There's a certain liquid flux that people recommend for soldering, like soft soldering stainless to copper, and I couldn't get it, so that's why I ended up going with brazing. It is tricky, dude. It's tricky to solder or braze copper to stainless, especially if you haven't done a lot of it. But at the same time, man, like if you're building and you've got these materials around, it's what we do, right? Like the reason that people become distillers are for two reasons. One is they want to get drunk for cheap, and if you want to get drunk for cheap, unless you're living in a place that you can't buy alcohol, just go and buy alcohol. It's cheaper. By the time you put all your time into it and buy all the equipment and it's just buy the stuff. It's cheaper. Even in New Zealand where it's not that cheap, it's cheaper to just go buy it. The second reason people do it is because they're skill collectors and they enjoy the hobby of it. So if you're that sort of person, you're going to more than likely enjoy discovering the skill of soldering or brazing or welding. And even if it does take a while to learn that skill before you can move on to actually cutting up your keg and soldering or brazing or welding something on, more often than not, the people that do this, if they jump in and just do that sort of thing, they're going to find that process rewarding. That's my take on it, man. Like, yeah. There's lots of good videos out there on welding and soldering and stuff. Just my 2 cents. What is this? Oh, Brandon, you did a super sticker, my man. Thank you, dude. I guess I can't put that up because it's a sticker, not a comment. I appreciate it, Brandon. The referendum. Oh, just in New Zealand, the next election we have coming up, there's a referendum on whether or not weed should be legal, basically. It looks like they're basically trying to track the same sort of vibe that's going around America at the moment. So you'd be able to grow your own plants. I think you could have, I can't remember exactly what it is. It's either like 1 or 2 plants per adult with a maximum of 3 plants per house, that sort of stuff. Legal, medical, and legal, what do you call it? Like, man, I guess that Grappa is going to my head a little bit, but you can just smoke it for fun as well, as long as you're an adult and you're paying taxes on it and blah, 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 blah. Oh, cool. Where are you going to put that up? Where are you going to be putting the video? Let us know. Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, dude, I don't really want to get into it, but that's kind of how I feel about it too. Like, like every single group of people on the face of the planet end up finding a way to alter their conscience. They do something, they drink or they smoke tobacco or weed or mushrooms or something. There's just like something that is part of being a human where people end up wanting to fuck with stuff that fucks with them. And it just seems bizarre to me that someone, I don't know, I'm a bit of, I kind of feel like if you're doing something and it doesn't hurt someone else, then whose business is it to tell you that you can't do that? Yeah. Cool. Unga Bunga. There you go. I don't know what that's in reply to, but yes, Unga Bunga. Me Uga, you Booger. All right, guys. Do we have any more suggestions on this? And for those of you that are here that weren't before, the idea is that I just want to get some ideas, and then I'll throw for the Patreons up. I'll throw a vote up for those people that have got voting rights on recipes. I haven't done many of those lately, so I figured that'd be kind of a fun, different one to do. All right. So, do I have anything else that I want to taste right now? You know what? I haven't tasted this in forever. Let me tip all of this in together. Actually, this could be fun. This is the corn stuff I was tasting mixed in with the grappa. Tastes like grappa. Doesn't taste like corn at all. Funny. But what that has done is freed up a glass for me. These are the New Zealand peated whiskies. Interesting. So this is with secondhand oak, already like pre-used oak, and this is new charred oak. Let me rinse this glass out. I haven't tasted these in forever. They've just sat here. I did these as, like I said before, I used the forced aging to go ahead and try a couple of different things before I committed to anything. And funny thing is, I actually haven't put any oak into the whiskey that I made out of this yet. I just still haven't decided, and I'm in absolutely no rush. If this stuff ends up aging like for 4 years, I'm cool with that. So I'm in no rush to get something into it right now. But wow, look at the color on that. It's crazy. It's getting nuts. So this New Zealand peat, like for those of you that don't know, Gladfield Malt, the people that basically sponsor me, they hook me up with grain so I can mess around with all this stuff, which is freaking awesome. They dug peat out of the ground in the South Island in New Zealand, and then they used that. They dried that peat. They figured out how to get it all sorted so they could smoke the grain that they make out of it. They can smoke the grain that they grow and malt with the New Zealand peat, which is cool on a conceptual level for me. So you've got this completely New Zealand product that is kind of an appropriation of what the Scots are doing. So it's an appropriation of the Scottish, you can make a peated whiskey, but you're not trying to be Scotland because it's a totally different product, right? And the thing is that the peat smoke really does taste different. It has a saltiness that borderlines on almost metallicness to it. And I'm really interested to try this because I'm not sure how that almost metallic flavor has changed over time. I thought when I first tried it, I didn't really get the metallic taste out of it. But after, I'm trying to see if there's a bottle of the Thompson whiskey here. But after trying it multiple times, it sort of kept coming up. I guess I thought it was something like, how sometimes where you eat something or you've done something during the day and that affects the way you taste something. I kept thinking that it was that, and I was trying to subtract it from my tasting of the whiskey. I was trying to put it out of my head because I thought it was a red herring almost. But then I bought a bottle of Thompson's South Island peat, and it's got the same flavor in it, which is really interesting to me. Okay, interesting. Still has a slight metallicness to it. Not as bad as it was before. It's getting super tannic, which doesn't surprise me because it's that much You know, like obviously all the wood that's above the spirit line is not doing anything, but that's a lot of wood for that small amount of spirit that's underwater. Well, it's been sitting there for a while now. It has that full-on Christmas cake flavor to it still, which is really cool. And what I mean by that is it's kind of like golden syrup and treacle and dark caramelized flavors, almost heading towards soy sauciness, like a stout would, but it never gets there. It's not that dark. And also kind of like candied fruit all mixed into it as well. But yeah, it's getting super tannic. Actually, I'm just going to try this one straight out of the bottle because I don't have another glass. Excuse me, guys, while I be disgusting for a little while. So other than the mouthful of charred wood that I just got, yeah. The idea was to try and do a, if memory serves me correctly, the wood in this one came from UJ SSM. They've been used in the UJ already. And that is much more Isla-like. This reminds me of something like Balcones, where it's like a single malt, but it's got that new American oak influence over the top of it. This is much more like single malt. Scottish single malt, I should. What happens when we mix them together? Thanks, Jane. Jane Doe. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Odin's rye bread. Yeah, man, for sure. I could look at doing that. I kind of forgot about it, to be perfectly honest with you. It's an unfortunate thing of the channel getting more successful. So first of all, if you had told me 3 years ago when I started the channel, about 3 years ago, that I would still be doing the channel, I would have said you're freaking crazy, because that would have meant that it was in some way, shape or form successful. I set myself a year. I have to do it for a year, and then after that I'll reassess. I thought the chances of that happening were about 5%, and it was just kind of a creative outlet for me at the time. So thank you guys. Thank you so much to you guys for, I guess, supporting the channel in any way, shape or form, watching videos, commenting on videos, liking videos, especially the Patreons, all of it. Thank you so much. A slightly unfortunate outcome of that is that I've just got, like anytime I've got spare internet time, it turns into emails, Facebook messages. I always prioritize the Patreon messages first. That just seems right for me to do that. But that used to be the time that I had to hang out in forums. So there was three places that I hung out in. The NZ Home Distiller, which unfortunately has basically got defunded, and the guy that was running it couldn't run it anymore, which is pretty sad. The second was Firewater on Reddit. Jesus, Jesse. And the third being Home Distiller, homedistiller.com. I was most active in the, that was probably in the order of most activity. And I loved that time. That was like, it was me time. I could go in there and chat with people for the fun of it and throw ideas around and all that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, that time's just kind of evaporated now that, yeah. Anyway, long talk for no reason there. I feel drunk. Why do I feel drunk? I don't feel like I've drunk that much. I feel like I've only been tasting stuff. I mean, I guess the Grappa is like almost 60% or something, but yeah. I don't think I've been drinking that much. Have I drunk that much? Yeah. Where I live, I frequently see sweet potato on clearance sale, so I'm definitely planning on making a sweet potato vodka. Suggestions? Yeah, cool, man. So I don't know about sweet potato, how it sits, but potatoes actually a notoriously shit source of sugar. Obviously, it doesn't have fermentable sugar in it, but by the time you mash it, it's just not very dense in the stuff we need. So I don't know what the numbers are, but its potential gravity contribution is tiny compared to something like grain. Don't know what the deal is with sweet potato. I don't know how that stacks up against potato. If anything, it might actually be slightly lower just because it sort of seems less dense. Mind you, your sweet potato, I'm thinking kumara when I say that. It might be different for you depending on where you are and what you call it. I'm probably going to do potato vodka sometime soon. That seemed like the consensus on what to try in terms of making a vodka. I asked in one of the recent videos what I should make vodka out of that isn't sugar. It seems like that's going to be the consensus. My plan at the moment is to get washed potatoes so I don't have to peel them or wash them. Cut them up relatively small, boil the crap out of them, and then pitch some of that koji, the angel yeast that's going to ferment and have active enzymes at the same time, just so I don't have to piss around with it. But we've got someone steering up in the comments. That's hilarious. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So that's my general plan. But basically, what you need to do is you need to make the starch accessible to the enzymes. So you need to break it down into small enough pieces that you can actually get at it. Then you need to gelatinize the starch. Then you need to attack that starch and break it down with enzymes. And the way you achieve those little steps is kind of going to be the nuance in it, right? So, yeah. If I could actually, if I had the patience for gardening, that would be great. So Bearded and Bored is literally growing beer in his back garden, which is bonkers. I just don't have the patience for that, man. My theory when it comes to growing stuff is I plant it and then it's survival of the fittest. It either survives and it grows or it dies. That's about just getting something in the ground for me is a huge thing for me. Yeah, dude. That's exactly. Potatoes are notoriously shit for it. They're crappy. But I mean, why not? It's fun, right? And kind of for me, from a selfish point of view, that's the sort of video that the general public, people that aren't into distilling, might find interesting too. So that could help the channel grow as well. So that's the other thing. Sorry, who was it that asked for that? I'm definitely feeling drunk. Why do I feel so drunk? This is bizarre. The other option I was going to say is wash them or peel them, cut them up, boil them, and then mash it like you would anything else you're going to mash. So you could mash it with malted barley to get the enzymes. You could mash it and get your enzymes out of bottled enzymes. That would work as well. It's just it's up to you, man. And I guess this is a fun thing, right? If you can learn the basics of distilling and the basics of mashing, then you can mess around with stuff as much as your heart desires. Oh, Terry, man, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Could you flavor the vodka with purple and orange sweet potatoes, like how Iron Root uses different corns? 100% you could. How much effect that would have on the final product, I don't know. It could be fun to do a straight. You could do straight potato and then straight purple kumara for us. It would be, and see them, do them side by side and mix them, or figure out how to blend them or whatever. Every single person I've ever talked to that's done potato says just this. You would think that there's a buttload of starch in the potato that you could convert into fermentable sugars, and it's just not the case. They're a really shitty starch source. Yeah, it's very. I've learned over time that it's rare for Terry to have a bad idea, but he has a lot of ideas. So I guess he pumps out good ideas. He gets some great ideas, and then inevitably there's some wacky ideas mixed in. But I appreciate it, Terry. It's nice having someone to talk shit with about this sort of stuff. That's for sure. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that's funny, actually. I probably should do something like that in the video. That would be hilarious. All right. So, dude, any question like this? I've just realized we've been at this for almost 2 hours. I should probably think about getting out of here and doing something constructive. Not that this isn't constructive, but doing something else for the rest of my day. Now that I'm drunk at 12 o'clock. Anyway, what's the best yeast to use for basic sugar and cracked corn mash? I find it very, very hard to use the word best with anything in this hobby, simply because there is no best, man. It's kind of, and I don't mean that as an insult to you. I just mean that as in what's best to you is going to be different to what's best for me compared to someone else. It's like it's a subjective, not objective kind of hobby. So what is it that you're trying to get out of it? Like, so you're saying a basic sugar and cracked corn mash. I'm assuming something really similar to UJSSM. Like, what's the goal that you're trying to get to there? Is it as much flavor as possible? Is it unique, different flavor? Is it fermentation time? You don't want to wait for it. All those sorts of different things. If you're new to the hobby and you don't know yeast and you don't know like what you want to get out of yeast, honestly, man, use baker's yeast. It's cheap. It goes a long way. It does a damn good job. Yeah, it's up to you. If you want to do something wacky, then I'm really enjoying messing around with the Kvike at the moment. Actually, have I still got some of that here? No, it's just the plain distiller's malt one. Oh well, I kind of wanted to taste that again. Yeah, dude. Yeah, this exactly. You're looking higher proof and flavor. Okay, so right off the bat, man, this is these things they're not mutually exclusive, but they're kind of levers that pull against each other. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of people that are new to the hobby. They start going after the proof straight away, and I think it's kind of because it's like an easy metric to gauge yourself on when you get started. Like all the other stuff's so subjective. It's nice to have something that is a number, right, that you can pull out of the data. The thing is that the higher ABV is in the wash, the higher the chances are, and I say chances because it's not an absolute, the higher the chances are of stressing your yeast out. If you stress your yeast out, you're much more likely to get weird, bad, odd flavors coming through. And the funny thing is, if you really know what you're doing and you're really after something specific, you can actually get really nice flavors out of stressing your yeast too. But that's kind of a different topic, I think. So what I would suggest is if you're relatively new to the hobby and the fact that you're asking, what yeast to use would suggest that to me, because I think yeast is one of those things that you should look into pretty early on in the hobby and decide what you like, what you don't like, where you want to head with it. If you're new to the hobby and you're learning yeast, I would suggest sitting in the 7 to 10% potential alcohol range. That's where I would suggest you sit. If you're using something like a turbo or a daddy yeast, yeah, sure, you can go higher. Personally, I don't, like it's another thing that I'm not so big on using. And the reason is because I don't, like I said, I'm a maker, not a drinker, so I don't need huge volumes. But if you try and use baker's yeast and you try and crank it up to 14%, you might get away with it a couple of times. But eventually you're going to get burnt by it, right? So yeah, 8 to 10% is kind of like where I would suggest you sit if your goal is quality and not just making a shitload of stuff. That's my thoughts. And if you're in that 8 to 10% range, there's very few yeasts that you can use that will screw it up. You just use a baker's yeast and you're going to be fine. Use USO5, you're going to be fine. So in terms of distilling, my suggestions on yeast would be, number one, check the gravity that you're creating at the beginning. So create a wash that has a potential of about 8%. That's about 1080, depending on how dry it's going to ferment out. Number 2 is look at all the conditions that you're fermenting in, right? You don't necessarily need to straight up temperature control your ferment. It's not beer. You don't have to be that pedantic, but you do need to think about the potential for the temperature to get outside of your range, right? Is it winter and is the basement where you're fermenting like damn, it's like 8 degrees Celsius or something? It's just not going to work. Your yeast isn't going to be happy. Is it the middle of summer and you live in Texas and you're fermenting in your external garage that is 45 degrees Celsius, damn near 24 hours? You're going to run into trouble, so you just need to think about it. Enough said. Cool. Saison's fun, man. There's so many things that you can try with different yeasts. I think with something like Kvike, I would be happy to push that higher for sure. But as I'm just like I'm talking in general rules here, right? If you stick to 8 to 10%, pretty much everything's going to work. Nice to see you again, Randall. And yes, where was it? Who is asking? ABV is alcohol by volume. We're heathens down here and we do not use proof. And that is simply because we are sane human beings and we use the metric system. I don't even know if ABV's got anything to do with metric, but it's turned into a running joke where I need to take a punt. I need to take a stab at anyone that doesn't use metric whenever I can. Where are we? Oh, looks like we've frozen up here, guys. Oh no. Yeah, there we go. We're moving again. Sorry, I had a slight glitch there, team. We're up and running again. You know what's up. You know what's up, Lee. Okay, so when I'm talking proof, when I'm talking ABV, I'm talking ABV in the wash. Yes. Wifey is in the house, people. And she's telling me to stop drinking and go do jobs. I know, my dear. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. You guys know what's up. Jump on the wifey bandwagon. Say hi. Literally, Erin is the person that makes this possible. If it wasn't for her, this would not happen. So we all have a lot to say thank you to Erin for. Yeah, dude, it's my job, but before being Jesse from Stillett, I'm dad. And it's my job to go pick up the twins. She's not worried about me being here. She's worried about me drinking because I got to go drive soon. But I'm not actually drunk. I'm tipsy and I've got a few hours to sober up, so I'll be fine. And I don't mean that as in a macho way. Like literally, I would take a breathalyzer and be fine. See, Andy's got my back. Andy knows what's up. She came here to test my sobriety. I'm out. Yeah, she is a saint. But I think this proves that we have gotten to the meltdown point of this live stream. So thank you for hanging out, guys. Sorry that the video didn't come out this week. I should have brought the berry stuff in here to show you because it's getting to a really cool color right now, but it should be delicious. I'm hoping, or maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll turn out fishy too, like that damn mango stuff. Anyway, thanks a bunch. Yeah. There we go. That's my job, but I'm not the boss. Yep, definitely a saint. She is an awesome human being, that's for sure. All right. Thank you for hanging out, guys. It's been a blast. It's fun to do this. It's fun to be able to actually interact a little bit more. Next video will be out on Monday or Tuesday next week, guys. So basically the plan is going forward is that it is 3 videos a week. I try and do every Friday New Zealand time or Thursday for most of the rest of the world is the like a practical video. I either make I make something, I mash in something, I do something practical. The other two are kind of like talky videos, either answering questions or general thoughts about topics. And the other two are sometime between, Tuesday and Thursday. They go up. They just kind of go up when they go up. But yeah. Where are we? Oh, that's annoying that I can't put them up on the screen from the top. Marlon, thank you, my man. I appreciate it. Anyway, guys, I can't keep drinking, dude. I got to get in the car and go get the kids. And it's only midday here. I got to go be productive for another few hours before I leave. Anyway, sorry guys, I'm rambling. Like Randall says, keep on chasing the craft, guys. Have an awesome week. I'll catch you next time. And I don't know where you are specifically. Obviously, you're in a whole lot of different places, but stay safe. Look after yourselves. Look after your family. Look after your friends. And we'll catch you next time. See you later, guys. Have a kick-ass week. See you. Oh, yeah. Keep chasing the craft.